Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the new Marvel Legends House of X Wolverine, part of the Tri-Sentinel Build-A-Figure wave. And this is basically a bunch of old Wolverine parts mashed together to make a new figure, and a couple of new parts as well. So maybe it's good, maybe it's bad, maybe it's somewhere in the middle. That's probably the odds, but it's where I'd lay the odds is what I'm trying to say, because I can't speak English. But it's another Wolverine figure, so that's always good, right? Right. All right, so let's go ahead and get him off the stand and take a closer look. And this guy stands just about 15 centimeters at the top of his head, which makes him pretty close to, let's say 5 3/4, maybe closer to 5 7/8. And like I said, it's a bunch of old Wolverine parts put together pretty much. They work pretty well. It's not the best combination, I think, but it's good enough. Some of the parts are the best, like we have the claws, the good claws, the more detailed hands. I mean, it's the hands with the knuckle pads and things like that, and the boots that actually look like boots. So we're definitely losing the Jim Lee Wolverine style here, but we're also picking up some of the bad parts from other figures that we didn't like. So it's kind of a weird balance of things. Good stuff here, but it's not the styling most people prefer, which leads me to the question of the day. Which version of Wolverine is your favorite? Not talking about live action and stuff like that, just in the comics. Which suit, which artist, that kind of thing. For me, it's got to be classic Tiger Stripe Wolverine. I do love me some brown suit Wolverine, but for me it's classic blue and yellow Tiger Stripe. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about the aesthetics on here. As I already mentioned, we do have the detailed boots and the detailed gloves, and those are very nicely done. There's no extra detail on there like color for the pads and locks and things that are on there. The knuckle guards, those aren't colored. The straps and clasps and things. Let's see if I can hold it in the center of the frame. No detail on there as far as paint, but it is sculpted, so that's nice. And it is a different color from the brown on his suit, so that's a pretty nice touch. They didn't have to do that, they did. Same thing for the belt. The X is pretty clean. They're getting better with their X belts, and this is again a different color than here. He's a little glossy in a few places, but it's not too bad. This hair, as I think how I would prefer they would do it if they're gonna put hair on him, I think doing it like that is the way to go. Yeah, it looks weird, but it looks weird no matter what you do. So if you're gonna do it, that looks, I think, the best. The face on this guy, the neutral face, it's pretty good, I guess. It looks like he's smiling. I don't know that it's supposed to. Maybe it is. If it is, then they nailed it. But I don't... Wolverine's not known for smiling too much, unless he does in the House of X comics. I don't know. I haven't read them. I haven't looked at them. I haven't been familiar with them at all, really. But if he smiles in there, fine. If not, then it's very strange that he's smiling. Paint job is not great around his face. You can see there's a lot of bleeding. It's okay. The eyes are a separate piece back set behind the helmet or the cowl. And they're okay. They're pretty far back, though. So it looks a little strange from some angles, but it's not terrible. Otherwise, we do get some weird mustardy yellow for the paint job here, and it's kind of chunky and also opaque, or transparent, not opaque. It's not opaque enough, it's transparent. You can see brown poking through in lots of spots, and you see lots of streaking, and it looks pretty garbage, honestly. Not great. So that's pretty disappointing. The claws are very dark. I don't mind that because I don't really care about the color of the claws. They're metallic enough, and they're the nice sculpt. So that's pretty good. So, also, the face doesn't match the arms. Just pointing that out there. The skin tones aren't great. I know they're not going to be perfect, but it does stand out to me on this figure. So aesthetically speaking, it's going to get a 6 out of 10. There's a lot wrong with this figure, and considering it's mostly reused parts, I think they should have gotten most of it right. Alright, now as far as accessories go, we do have an alternate head, which gives him a little bit of scruff on the chin, and it's actually a much, much nicer executed head sculpt as far as I'm concerned. Everything works better. The eyes aren't as far back. The sculpt for the mouth makes more sense. The cowl just looks better in this orientation. The beard looks pretty good. Like, I like this head a lot. They did a really good job with it compared to the other head. So that's it though for accessories. So 6, 7. Maybe Wolverine doesn't need more. I'll go 7 out of 10 for accessories because that's enough. I think some open hands would be cool, but not necessary. Okay. Alright. Oh, and also I should probably point out, if you guys are interested, I know I talked about this a long time ago. It's been a while now, but various things have been going on in my life that have slowed things down significantly. But I wanted to let you guys know we are still going to be having some new Wolverine heads available soon. Logan Heads. So those are going to be available for sale at some point in the near future. They do fit this body. They fit all the Wolverines, basically, that are of this variety. So that's one of them. And it'll come either blank or painted. And then we have one other one. Actually, I have 2 other ones, but I'm probably going to sit on one for now. And then the other one that I will have available, there will be a separate video for pricing and all that, is the yelling head, where he's got his teeth out and his chin down and back and eyes pinched up, like, yeah, he looks angry, that kind of head. So we have those two heads, which are going to be available in the hopefully near future. We'll see. A lot of stuff going on, guys. Personal stuff, I'm not going to get into it, but I know a lot of you were asking about those for a while, and then they kind of just disappeared, so I wanted to bring that out. Okay, on to the articulation. It's pretty much everything we've seen before. He can look up fairly well, he can look down all the way, he can look to the sides, lean a little bit, that's all fine, no problems there. The butterfly joint does work well on this mold, can't complain about that too much. He still has weird little bean shoulders, but they do go out to the side, and they have their full rotation. Bicep swivel is fine, though his arms are super bubbly, and his bicep tricep is so much bigger than his shoulder that it makes him look weird. But we've been dealing with this before, so that's nothing new. Elbows don't have great range, just better than 90, unfortunately, despite being double jointed. We do have a swivel and a hinge, and for those of you unfamiliar, the claws do come out, so you can do that if you want. Ab crunch on this guy leans back a little bit, and it leans forward a lot a bit, which is good for Wolverine. Floating belt does float, so you can rotate, that's fine. Bringing the hips forward, no problem at all, a little bit better than horizontal. They go back just a tiny bit, and out to the side, about 45 degrees. Thigh swivel is a thigh swivel, double jointed knees are gonna joint doubly, that's fine, no problems there. And then lastly, we have our, let's use this foot, our boot, our ankle joint, which goes all the way back, and not very far forward at all. You can maybe force a little bit more out of that, but it doesn't feel like it's gonna. And you get a very crooked ankle rocker. So not the best batch of articulation for this guy, but it'll get the job done. I'll give it a 7. It's your average Marvel Legends articulation. Nothing impressive, but nothing too bad also. So time for the final verdict on this guy. It definitely could be a lot better. I think it's probably the weakest Wolverine release in a while. And that's not true. That's not true. I take that back completely. Ignore that. There have been some real stinkers. This one, all things considered, it just could have been so much better than it is. And maybe you guys got one where it's not all janky on the sides. Mine looks real bad. Really, really, really bad. And I don't know. I don't care for it. Overall, it's a fine release. Is it a necessary one? Maybe if you want the House of X version, but I think it should have been better since it's all used parts, almost all used parts. So for me, it's only going to get a 6 out of 10. There are some definite good things about this. I personally like the figure, but as an objective reviewer, I have to say they dropped the ball more than they didn't. So I'm bummed out a little bit by that as a reviewer. Personally, I don't really care. It looks fun. It's fine. I'm all right other than this, but this does bother me a lot. All right, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and we'll call it there. So thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. I would totally appreciate that. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. I would appreciate that too. You know, let me know. And if you haven't subscribed, you might consider it. I have new videos almost every single day now that we're back in business. And I have thousands of videos already on the channel. So if I'm not in business for some point, or at some point, you can always just go through the playlist and check those out. I've got thousands and thousands, lots of them for you. So come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.